Hello, operator. Can you please connect me with OTR Halloween Holidays? I don't want to miss this episode of the Baba Ghoulie Show.
Suspense. Autolite and its 96,000 dealers present Mr. Eddie Cantor in Double Entry, a suspense play produced and edited by William Spear.
Well, a weeping reindeer. What's wrong?
I just lost my job.
Oh, that's terrible, and so near Christmas. By the way, what's your name?
Donna?
Well, tell me, Donner, how do Blitzen, Dancer, and Prancer feel about this?
Oh, just awful. They've been fired, too. You see, when Santa Claus, was our boss, first heard about your Autolite Stay Full batteries, he decided to give up the sleigh and make his deliveries by car.
Oh, Santa fell in love with those Stay Full features, eh?
I guess so, but I don't know why.
Oh, that's easy. You see, his Autolite Stay Full battery needs water only 3 times a year in normal car use. And then, too, it gives him, pardon the expression, reindeer fast starts, even in the North Pole. And what's more, with those fiberglass retaining mats protecting every positive plate, Autolite Stay Full batteries deliver 70% longer average life than batteries without Stay Full features. That's shown by recent tests based on SAE life cycle standards.
Well, that doesn't make me any happier.
Oh, come on, dear. Cheer up. 'Tis the season to be jolly. Remember, you're always bright with Autolite.
Mr. Cantor appears as Eddie, with Sidney Miller as Sam, his bosom friend, in Double Entry, an unusual story of clerical crime at Christmas time. Altogether, a most remarkable tale of suspense.
It always balances in the double entry system. If it don't, you hang around until it does. Yeah, even Christmas week. That's what I've been doing all my life, keeping books. It's fascinating, positively fascinating. Look at them figures. Beautiful, ain't they? Calligraphy, they call it. That's Greek for beautiful handwriting, you know. I bet in my day I've written billions of figures. Oh, hundreds of billions. And cash? Say, I've handled so much cash, my fingers are calloused. Why, once I even got water on the thumb from licking it to count money. But so what? What's cash? You go along every day counting it, piling it up, never thinking who owns it, never even think about what it will buy. Handling cash is just the same as adding figures. A job. Then, one day something happens that makes you look on things different. There's no excitement in an office, no danger, no heroism, no adventure. Not much chance to risk anything, to do something for a pal. So if a guy gets a chance to do a favor, to help out a pal who's in a jam, well, maybe you look on cash a little different. All of a sudden, cash is more than pieces of metal and bits of green paper. And if it's Christmas week, if it's Christmas Eve, and your pal is true blue, it's even more important.
Eddie, hand me that Dixie cup, will you?
Your ulcers bothering you again, Sam?
Yeah, they're bad. These ledgers are driving me nuts.
You got the wrong temperament for an accountant, Sam. You shouldn't let it get you down.
Things can't go on like this, Eddie.
What's the matter, Alice? Don't Alice understand you?
No. That's not what I mean, Eddie.
What do you mean, Sam?
You wouldn't understand it.
Oh, you always say that, Sam. I'm an understanding guy. That's what Mabel says.
Mabel says. You understand Mabel. Does she understand you?
Certainly, perfectly. A man's wife has to understand him. If she don't, what good is she?
Well, it's a nice way to look at it. If your wife understands you.
Don't Alice understand you?
No, Alice don't understand me.
That's 'cause you don't understand her.
Will you shut up? Sometimes you're so smug.
Oh, lay off, Sam. You can't go on like this.
Like what?
Grouchy all the time? You got something on your mind that Alice don't understand? Try me out. I won't throw no dishes at you.
I can't tell you, Ed. It wouldn't matter anyway. You can't do nothing.
Well, just telling your troubles helps sometime. Talk, Sam.
No.
Talk, Sam. This is Eddie, your friend.
Okay. It's the auditors.
Oh, them guys?
Yeah.
Don't let them worry you. You're head bookkeeper here, ain't you? You tell them. Don't let them tell you.
I'm telling you, Eddie. They're getting awful close.
What are you talking about?
They're driving me nuts.
Why, Sam?
Eddie, I'm light.
You mean...
The books. They're light. They're short.
You mean that...
I'm a crook, Eddie. Yeah, an embezzler. And they're going to get me. Those auditors, they're on to me. I know they are. I can feel them getting closer and closer. Now, after 9 years, they're on the trail, Ed.
You a crook, Sam. I don't believe it.
Oh, I wish I were dreaming.
Why, Sam, you're the fair-haired boy around here. All you had to do was ask.
Ask who? Bartholomew, that tight-fisted
It's
stubborn...
Alice. She's to blame, I know. She wasn't satisfied with your salary. She wanted ermine, capes, diamonds, a box at the opera. I know she drove you to it, Sam.
Don't blame her, Eddie. This one we can't blame on Alice. She doesn't even know anything about this caper.
Well, if she didn't drive you to it, why'd you do it?
All those kids on the block. They wanted to go to camp. Yeah, that's how it started, Eddie. With unknown benefactory.
What? You don't make sense, Sam. It
was just $100 or so at first. I figured to put it right back. Then the papers come out with unknown benefactor sends 20 kids to summer camp. Oh, that got me. That unknown benefactor.
So that was you, huh?
Yeah. And pretty soon I was taking out $100 here, $100 there, sending it off to all sorts of people and outfits. I sent dough to help the Institute for Aged Cats.
Oh.
Yeah, then I was an unknown contributor to Help Save Vaudeville movement. And kids. I was always helping kids. A regular Scrooge.
No. Santa Claus, Sam.
Yeah. And it made me feel great. Of course, I'd cover up on the books here with a fake entry, hoping I'd hit on the market and be able to put it all back, you know.
Yeah, but you were always unable to make a recoup. Kept getting in deeper. Sam Crockett, an embezzler, and for 9 years.
Don't say it, Eddie.
9 years. How much did you take in all that time?
$100,000 and 11 cents. Where am I going to get that kind of money?
I could dig up the 11 cents. But...
Oh, wisecracks. That's all you're good for. Jail staring me in the face.
What do you want me to say? What do you generally say? What do you generally say to your friend when he tells you he's a crook?
I told you because it feels good to get it off my chest. 9 years of hell.
That's why you've been so nervous.
That's where my ulcers come from.
Every night working late, covering up and...
Sweating, worrying, thinking of the ultimate end. The wall's closing in on me, Eddie.
And now... Hello, yes? Yes, Mr. Bartholomew. Send Crockett in? Okay.
My master's voice.
Bartholomew wants to see you. Wag your tail, Fido.
Wag it? I can't even drag it. Say, Eddie, didn't I see the auditors go in there a minute ago?
Yeah, come to think they did, Sam.
This is it, kid. Merry Christmas.
Maybe it's not, Sam.
I got a feeling. I'm not scared, Eddie. No, it's a relief. Now I'll sleep nights. Maybe my ulcer will clear up. Oh, but those kids are going to take it hard when they read about their unknown benefactor doing time.
100 grand. Holy. Wonder what he did with the 11 cents. Sales tax, I suppose. What a chump.
Your name, Eddie?
Yeah, what about it?
What about it? I'm Fink Freeze. Mr. Flint said to drop in and see if you want to place a bet today.
Flint who?
What do you mean, Flint who? Mike Flint. Ain't your name Eddie?
Sure, but I never heard of Mike Flint. You got the wrong Eddie. My name's Sullivan.
Oh, he didn't tell me the last name. I don't know. He says look up Eddie in 411 Perry Trust Building.
This is 511.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Huh?
Wait. You say you take bets on horses?
I'll take a bet on a camel if he's running a tropical park.
Are you a bookie?
Well, I ain't no taxidermist, pal.
Say, I may be the right Eddie after all. Got any odds?
Well, if you're on the level, Eddie.
You're in the business. Do I look like a stool pigeon?
Okay, Eddie. Yeah, I guess you're okay. Odds, huh? You want odds? Well, let's see. A Tropical Park, I can give you 10-1 in the first race. Aleppo finished last in a field of 9. His only other start.
Let's see the form.
You see, odds is okay if you don't bet too heavy. Play odds like a side bet, Eddie. The thing to play is the jockey, not the horse. Now, you take Sylvester. Won 3 yesterday, 2 on Monday, 1 on Sunday. Oh, he's hot, very hot. He can ride any dog into the money.
Does he ride a long shot today?
No, he's got 2 favorites and 4 short odds nags. He'll win, say, 2 races today, maybe 3, 1 for Santa Claus.
Say, here's a 50-1 shot. Altruism.
Altruism? I never heard of him.
I got a hunch.
Well, play it. Always play hunches. Let's see who this altruism is. Never raced before.
Then how do you know he's no good?
Well, I don't, but look who he's running against. War Alarm, unbeaten in 3 starts. Test Tube, last year's Gold Cup runner-up, and File Clerk. Oh, say, there's a hunch for you, Eddie.
I ain't no file clerk, and I'm playing altruism if you don't mind.
Okay, Eddie, okay. Just give me your $2.
Is that all I can bet?
Well, no, Eddie, but, gee, I don't want to play you for a sucker.
How about $2,000?
Oh, why don't you tie that bull to a fence?
Will you take $2,000 on altruism?
On the level, Eddie?
Sure as tonight's Christmas Eve.
Where would you get that kind of dough?
Borrow it from the boss?
Well, I'll have to get Flint's okay. Let me use your phone, huh?
Go ahead.
$2,000. Oh, well, that's not stage money, Eddie.
Neither is $100,000. Could you pay off?
Well, sure. Flint will cover any bet I make. Hello, give me Flint. See, this Flint is a very smart cookie. Maybe he don't want it. Oh, hello, Mike? This is Fink. Look, there's a man's got $2,000 he wants to put on an ad called Altruism in the 3rd of Tropical. The odds are 50-1. How about it? Uh-huh. Yeah, but if he wins, Mike. Well, sure, I'm a gambler, but 50-. Hey! Guy hung up. Funny guy, this Flint. Am I a gambler, he says. Well, okay, Eddie. We'll play $2,000 on Altruism's nose for you, okay?
Well, all right, but it's a lot of dough to hand over to someone I never saw before.
Well, I never saw you before either, mister.
Yeah, but what chance are you taking?
Look, quit stalling, Eddie. Are you betting or not?
Okay. Wait till I get the money. Here it is. 1,000, 1,100, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Makes $2,000.
Thanks, Eddie. What you shaking for? Is this your life savings or something?
No. There's lots more where this came from.
Oh, of course. You're independently wealthy.
Oh, yeah. That's it, Fink. Gee, you're a card.
Oh, card. Oh, gee, I almost forgot. Here's my card, and here's your ticket. Now, hang on to it. Might be worth $100,000.
Okay, Fink,
Hey, you all right? You look kind of green.
You've just been looking at too much dough, Fink.
Maybe. Now, you drop around this afternoon about 3. The address is on the card. Your dog is running in. Goodbye, Altruism.
So long, Fink.
So long, Eddie.
Hello?
Sullivan, this is Mr. Bartholomew.
Yes, sir.
Speak up.
Yes, sir.
That's better, Sullivan. Sullivan, I want you to send a nice new $100 bill to the 2nd Street Mission. Put it in a plain envelope and don't write anything with it. Wrap it in a piece of paper so no one will know what it is at the post office. I want to send a nice little anonymous gift as a surprise. A nice, crisp $100 bill.
Yes, sir, Mr. Bartholomew. 2nd Street Mission. I may send them a little something myself later. Yeah.
Eddie, it's okay. I got by.
What?
I'm clear. That auditor missed it. What's the matter? Aren't you glad?
You mean you ain't going to jail?
Oh, not this year.
Are you sure, Sam?
Positive, Eddie. The auditors are through. Not a chance of getting caught.
Not a chance, Sam?
Not a chance, Eddie.
There could be a slip-up.
No, there couldn't. What's the matter with you? Aren't you glad for me?
Sure. Look, already I'm doing handsprings.
Oh, boy. Of course, it doesn't solve things completely.
You said it.
I'm still short, but that's okay.
Oh, sure.
I'll think of something. I got a whole year. No more unknown benefactors, though.
I'm very glad.
Eddie, I don't quite get it, though. Bartholomew buttering me up. He says, we know everything is in good shape, Sam. No use putting these auditors to any more trouble. Just have them check the cash on hand, and that'll wind it up.
The cash?
Yeah.
Sam, hand me that Dixie cup by the typewriter.
Yeah, sure. You dry?
Very. How are you going to get the $100,000 back in the books?
Oh, I don't know. Why?
Maybe I can raise some dough.
You couldn't raise a Venetian blind. But what are you worrying for? I'm out of a jam.
And I'm in.
What are you... What's on your mind?
Just 2 or 3 years, that's all.
And now I suppose you're going to tell me you've been swiping postage stamps.
Oh, no. Nothing as bad as that. Look, I'm your pal, Sam.
Well, sure.
I'd do anything for you.
Then talk sense.
I hated to think of you in Sing Sing for 6 months, Sam, so... I'm going there myself for a few years.
What do you say?
I took $2,000 and bet it on a 50-to-1 shot at Tropical Park, Sam.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes, I did it. Yes.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
No, tell me you're kidding me, Eddie.
I did it for you, Sam, for Christmas.
What?
A guy don't get a chance to prove his friendship very often.
Friendship? You talk of friendship at a time like this? We're both as good as in Sing Sing right now.
And me the longest.
I hope so. Of all the dumb tricks. And you didn't make any entries, huh?
No. Just took it. Just...
Eddie, how'd you come to bet on a horse? You never made a bet. What bookies do you know?
Here's his card. He just happened in by accident.
A truck should just happen by accident to run over you.
Maybe he'd give it back, Sam.
Oh, sure. Bookies are that way. Philanthropists, all of them. Besides, there's probably no such address as this.
Oh, don't be hard on me, Sam. After all, I risked my own neck to save yours.
No greater love.
And maybe this horse will win.
A 50-to-1?
Well?
Let me see that card. All we can do is try and get the dough back.
He was awful nice, Sam.
Oh, shut up. Nice. Look, fake an entry in the books. Then we'll pay Mr. Fink Freeze a call. Friendship.
Yeah, friendship. We're in this together, pal.
Autolite is bringing you Mr. Eddie Cantor in Double Entry, tonight's production in radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
Happy days are here again. Jingle bells, jingle bells.
Hey, Donner, why the sudden switch? You were sadder than a bride's first batch of biscuits a few minutes ago.
Oh, Santa changed his mind. He's sticking to tradition, and I'm going back to work.
Well, good for you.
It's even better for you. Santa thinks your Autolite Stay-Full batteries are so good, he's decided to bring one to every car owner.
Gosh, what a wonderful way to be greeted Christmas morning. Imagine finding one of these brawny bundles of endless energy, the Autolite Stay-Full battery that needs water only 3 times a year in normal car use, all wrapped up in red ribbon under your tree. But speaking of Christmas greetings, friends, I have a card here, and it's addressed to you. It says, may your holiday this year be the cheeriest ever, and it's signed the Autolite folks. To that, let me add Merry Christmas wishes from all of us on Suspense. Happy holiday to you all.
And now, Autolite brings back to our Hollywood soundstage our star, Eddie Cantor, with Sidney Miller in Double Entry, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
On the subway up to the bookie's place, I didn't say a word. I just stared at the ads and kept thinking of how I'd messed things up and wondering what Sam was thinking. The window we sat near had bars on it, and I felt I was already in jail. Well, we got to the bookies. It was a great big large room.
The track is now past the Tropical Park.
Well, if it ain't the millionaire bookkeeper. Hi, Eddie.
Oh, hello there, Fink.
Welcome to our humble joint. Of course, it ain't like Hialeah.
Oh, but it's as close to it as we can get in New York, I know.
This is Sam Crockett, Fink, my friend.
Oh, glad to meet you, Mr. Crockett. Smart man you got working with you. He's going to make himself a pile of dough this afternoon, aren't you, Eddie?
Look, fella, this is all a mistake.
Huh?
Eddie had no business betting $2,000 on a horse. The fact is, it wasn't his money.
Well, I am surprised.
You see, he was trying to help someone.
So he helped himself to $2,000, huh?
Think, give us a break and return the money. We'll both go to jail if we don't put it back.
Scratch
Look,
boy number 6.
I'm very sorry, fellas, but I can't do nothing. I've turned in the dough. I just work here. I can't get that back.
Oh, you've got to help us, Fink.
Look, I'd like to, Crockett, but how can I? This is a business. Now, supposing I ask the boss, He says it's a contract. He can't back out, neither can you. Where would we be if we asked you to take your money back?
Yeah, but don't you see, we'll go to Sing Sing
2
Fink.
minutes to post time for the 3rd at Tropical Place. Your bets now, men.
Yeah, maybe those bills were counterfeit. You could tell the cashier the dough's no good, huh?
Now, how can I, Eddie? He can spot a phony from 50 yards.
Look, think. The auditors are checking our books now.
All I can say is I'm very sorry, and I hope this nag wins for you.
Tropical,
But I
they're
can't
at the
do a thing
post
about it.
In the 3rd.
Oh, we're sunk, Eddie.
I'm really sorry, boys. I should have known better than to take your dough.
Yeah, he sounded like he meant it, Sam.
So what? Come on, let's go.
Ain't you interested in hearing the race over the loudspeaker?
No.
Well, I am. It's me who started this. I'm going to get my money's worth.
At Tropical in the 3rd, a correction. Sylvester is riding altruism.
Did you hear that, Sam?
You mean we get a jockey?
Now, don't be funny. This guy Sylvester is hot. He's winning
At
2 or 3
Tropical
races a
in the
day.
3rd, they're away at 3:17.
They're off, Sam.
I got ears.
Oh, gosh.
At the quarter, it's War Alarm, Dive Bomber, Calumet Powell, Done In, Westwood Ho, File Clerk, Valiant Ned, Mashy Niblick, Timid Soul, Golden West, Test Tube, Auction Block, Early Riser, and altruism.
No wonder you got 50 to 1. There's 50 horses.
That's not a race. It's a caravan.
Last place. Now are you satisfied?
Okay, Sam, let's go. Seabiscuit couldn't win in a crowd like that unless he cut across the infield.
Oh, you sure pick 'em.
Come on. What are you waiting for?
I'm not waiting. Quit pushing me.
Am I pushing
At
you?
the half,
Shh, listen.
Valiant Ned by a length. War Alarm is 2nd, Test Tube is 3rd. Dive Bomber 4th, Done In, Calumet Powell, Westwood Ho, File Clerk, Timid Soul, Golden West, Early Riser, Mashy Niblick, Altruism, and Auction Block has dropped out.
That nag is taking the pause that refreshes.
Well, he's come up.
If enough drop out, he can win.
Yeah, the race would have to last 2 days, huh?
Why didn't they run it in heats?
Well, might as well hang around till the end, huh, Sam?
Well,
In
I
the
guess so.
stretch, Valiant Ned is still leading by a length. Test Tube is 2nd. War Alarm is 3rd. And coming up is Altruism.
Did he say altruism?
He said it. Get the results.
Hey, Porky, how about the finish?
Coming over the line now, Fink.
Sylvester! Sylvester, ride, boy, ride.
Don't wring your hands. It's too late to pray. The race is over.
Who's the winner? Who's the
How
winner?
do I know? The wire is always a minute behind.
Eddie, we've got a chance. Christmas comes but once a year.
That's too close for comfort. Oh, why did Flint let me take that bet?
The winner of the 3rd at Tropical is Altruism.
No.
Oh, my horse!
No.
Yours, mine. He won. He won. Sam, he won.
No, he won. He won, Eddie.
Well, am I a chump now?
You're a champ, Eddie, a champ.
Oh, it was nothing, Sam.
Only a sap could do it.
Thanks, Sam.
Holy smoke, this does it.
Fink, I almost forgot. You got to fork over the money.
Yeah, that just about busts this joint. Look, how about calling it off?
Colin, remember what you said about contracts?
Well, yeah, if I'd have known they were switching Sylvester on that dog.
Come on, when do we get paid off?
Well, right now, Crockett. Come on over to the cashier.
Cash? Do we have to take cash?
Oh, absolutely. Here, give me your ticket.
Here.
Now, here's the cashier at this window. 100 grand, Speed.
Look, the cashier don't bat an eye. I'm going to take the money. The cops!
What?
It's a race! How about my dough?
Grab that cashier!
He's going out the back door. Well, the cops jugged everyone in the place. Fink and the other gamblers got away with the 100 grand, and we had to wait until Christmas morning for a hearing, but every silver lining has a rip in it.
Oh, I don't see how they got away. Oh, am I sore. We sit here in the can and they're off with all that dough.
We were framed, Sam. The whole thing was planned.
Oh, you're crazy. How'd think no altruism would win? You can't turn on a police raid like a shower bath.
Well, how are we ever going to find those guys?
We won't. And if we do, it won't do us any good. Because you haven't got the ticket anymore. And even if you had, you couldn't force them to pay because bookmaking isn't legal. It's gambling.
Keep on. I love to hear your ulcer talk.
Oh.
And it fits so nicely with these surroundings.
You might as well get used to it. We'll be living in quarters like this for some time.
Quiet, Sam. Here comes the keeper.
And he's got Fink with him.
Good. He deserves to be in jail, the dirty...
Hello, Eddie. I got something for you.
I'm sorry. I'm just not interested in tips, that's all.
Oh, no, Eddie, you don't understand. I just come to say Merry Christmas. And this is for you, Eddie.
For me?
What is that? Open it, Eddie.
Oh, yeah. Look, Sam, $2,000.
$2,000?
That's right. That's all I got. It's my own dough. Mike Flint blew town, so this is the best I can do, Eddie.
Oh, gee, thanks, Fink. Thanks, you're a prince.
Just call him Santa Claus. So there I was, back where I started, at scratch. All I had to do was to put the dough back in the cash drawer. They made us pay a $10 fine, and we got home in time for Christmas dinner. The next morning, we took the subway downtown. Sam read the paper, and I just stared at the ads as usual.
Eddie, quite a story about altruism. Picture of Sylvester. Just a kid, 19, weighs 105.
Look at that ad. It says to spell it backwards. If they want you to read it that way, why didn't they turn it around?
Yeah. Eddie, look.
I don't know why they... what is it, Sam?
Look, this picture. It's Bartholomew.
Where? They've arrested him. What for?
Embezzlement, Eddie.
But that's you, Sam.
Listen to this. Bartholomew confessed to having embezzled company funds to the tune of $250,000 when auditors discovered a shortage in cash of $2,000. So that's why he was hurrying those guys around.
Let me see.
Look.
What a business. Everyone in it is a crook. Hey, Sam. Sam, where you going?
Back to the police station. I'm giving myself up.
Giving yourself up, but Sam...
No, Eddie. I'd never sleep again if I escape scot-free. Besides, I'd like to get away from Alice for 6 months.
But Sam... When nobody was looking, I slipped the $2,000 back into the cash drawer, and Sam went to the police and gave himself up. But guess what? They didn't want him. They already had their man. Sam wrote out a confession, offered to show them the books, but they just laughed at him. Called him a publicity seeker. He pleaded with them, but it was no use. Even Bartholomew called him a fool. Imagine Sam fought for the right to go to prison, and they laughed at him. Then he went to the newspapers, even to the district attorney, explaining what he'd done with the money. But they wouldn't believe him either. That's the thing that finally broke Sam's heart. No one would believe that he was the famous unknown benefactor. They told him, go on, Santa Claus, go back to your reindeer. Sam would have preferred a few quiet months in Sing Sing breaking rocks. He could have got rid of his ulcers. He would have got away from Alice, but no.
Hey, Eddie, hand me that Dixie cup, will you?
Your ulcers bothering you again, Sam?
Yeah, something awful. Keeping ledgers straight is driving me nuts.
Oh, Sam.
Suspense, presented by Autolite. Tonight's star, Eddie Cantor with Sidney Miller.
Well, Eddie, Suspense is a far cry from your Sunday night take-it-or-leave-it show.
Oh, not so far. There's a lot of suspense when we get to the $64 question.
Well, to make you feel at home here, Eddie, I've prepared a question for you to ask me.
I'll bet I know the category, batteries.
What else?
All right. Where's the question?
Right here on this slip of paper.
Let's see. It reads, is there anything that uses less water than an Autolite Stay-Full battery? Now, isn't that a silly question to ask you, Harlow?
Yes, it is, Eddie. The answer is so obvious. Why, Autolite Stay-Full batteries need water only 3 times a year in normal car use.
Any more questions?
No, Eddie, and thank you. Friends, Autolite Stay-Full batteries are made by Autolite, who make more than 400 other products for cars, trucks, planes, and boats in 28 plants coast to coast. These include complete electrical systems used as original equipment on many makes of America's finest cars. Batteries, spark plugs, generators, coils, distributors, starting motors, and bullseye seal beam headlights. All engineered to fit together perfectly, work together perfectly, because they're a perfect team. So don't accept electrical parts supposed to be as good. Ask for and insist on Autolite, original factory parts at your neighborhood service station, car dealer, garage, or repair shop. Remember, you're always right with Autolite. And friends, once again, Merry Christmas to all, and to all, good night. Next Thursday for Suspense, Ida Lupino will be our star. The play is called The Bullet, and it is, as we say,
A tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Tonight's Suspense play was produced and edited by William Spear and directed by Norman MacDonald. Music for Suspense is composed by Lucien Morawek and conducted by Lud Gluskin. Double Entry is an original radio play by Robert Minton.
You can buy Autolite Stay-Full batteries, Autolite resistor or regular spark plugs, Autolite electrical parts at your neighborhood Autolite dealers. Switch to Autolite. Good night.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
It's intermission time at the Baba Ghoulie Show. Time to refresh yourself and visit our snack bar. Got a yen for some hot popcorn? How's about your favorite soft drinks, which are sparkling cold? And there's all kinds of candy to tempt you. It's radio time, folks. Enjoy the rest of the program. This radio show has been brought to you by... Hello, kids. Bored at home? Can't get any girls to come over? Well, then call up some ghouls to come over instead. They'll certainly scare the pants off of ya. Just dial 1-900-CALL-GHOULS and hear some scary stories.
$2 for the first minute, 35 cents each additional minute, plus 3 solds for the full experience. Ask your parents' permission first.
And now back to our radio show.
Good evening, friend. This is your host to welcome you through the creaking door into the Inner Sanctum. Come in, come in. We had a surprise visitation here a scream or two ago. A sightseeing delegation simply crazy to take it all in. One onlooker's mouth was so agape you'd think his face was split from ear to ear. Confidentially, chum, it was. The head of the delegation was terribly proud of his honorary title. Poor chap, it was the only head he had. Ah, yes. Things went along cozily until some wag suggested holding hands. We brought out a trunk full of hands we keep for just such occasions.
Tonight's Inner Sanctum mystery, Between Two Worlds, was written by John Robert and stars Mason Adams in the role of Sam, with Ann Shepard as Connie.
It's Yuletide week in South Chicago as a flash electric storm whips the streets. Inside the 10th District Police Station, Chief Matthews and his clerk Daly are passing the time over a game of chess. Suddenly, like a bolt from the heavens, a window pane crashes, and a parcel fastened to a fist-sized rock drops to the station house floor.
It's a package tied to a rock, Chief.
And what's in it?
Oh, a notebook, Chief. A 5-and-dime notebook. And all written up like a confession. It's signed Sam Tyler.
Sam Tyler, never heard of him. Read me what Sam Tyler's got to say.
Ever come face to face with death and just stand around helplessly waiting for it to tap you?
Waiting for the final count. While you're waiting, your heart is a big clock ticking off your doom. And inside your head, a moving picture's going on. You're looking at the story of your life. And it's not a pretty story. It's all black. It's all bad. You hate to die without a single good mark in the big book. If you only had just enough time to chalk up one good deed. It happened like that with me. I came face to face with death. Death was Nick Fazenda. I'd lost face with Nick. The big guy liked his racket boys tough and nerveless, and I had a streak of chicken, Nick said. I had a streak of chicken. And I knew too much to be trusted alive.
What do you want it, chicken?
Nick, don't do it. Give me another chance. Dying like this scares me. What's waiting for me after you pull that trigger, Nick? I haven't done one decent thing since I was born.
Kid, you picked the wrong setup. You should have joined the Boy Scouts. So long, chicken.
The shot made a noise like a TNT charge, but I hadn't felt the impact. I hadn't felt anything. Either I was paralyzed with fear or dead to feeling. Or Nick had missed. I watched Nick stare unbelievingly and aim again. An easy bullseye at 5 yards with Nick a crack shot, but still no impact. I was still standing up.
Kid, hold on. You're dead.
No, Nick. I'm alive. You can't kill me. Nick, you're seeing a miracle happen.
You're crazy.
Nick, I'm going to get that chance. I'm going to live. 2 more shots, but still no impact. I was alive, uninjured. Something was happening to Nick. His face was purpling as if he was suffocating. Some invisible stranger had his hands around Nick's throat, strangling him.
I'm choking to death.
Nick was on the floor. I watched the color wash out of his face, watched him go rigid. I crouched and listened to his heart. Not a sound. Not a murmur. He was dead. Nick had dropped dead. I'd seen a miracle happen. I hopped a midnight freight, heading east. I was in a boxcar loaded with crates of eggs, still sweating over my narrow escape, when I got a spooky feeling that I wasn't alone. I lay still, choking back my breath with my hand tight around Nick's gun.
You have no need for the gun, Sam.
How did you know my name?
I know all about you, Sam. Put down your gun.
It's up and the trigger is cocked, so no tricks or you're a goner.
Goner. Too late for that, Sam. I am a goner already.
What kind of crazy talk?
I died, Sam, just 1 year ago.
You're your own ghost. Get your hands up high, Mr. Whisker, so I can frisk you. I reached to frisk Slopper's pockets for a rod, but there was no one to touch. I was only grabbing at empty air.
I told you I died a year ago, Sam. I saved your life tonight. I gave you your wish, your chance to do one decent thing before you died. Did you mean the promise you made?
No. Scram. You drive me crazy.
And you lied in the face of eternity. I'll have to recall the time given you.
What do you mean, recall the time?
You're living on borrowed time, Sam. You were meant to die by Nick's first bullet. You remember how Nick died?
Yeah. All of a sudden he couldn't breathe. Felt like his lungs were gone and his heart was calling quits.
Like you're beginning to feel now.
What? Like I can't breathe. I'm choking. My lungs are exploding. When I came to, Mr. Whiskers was smiling over me.
You did mean your promise to tomorrow, didn't you, Sam?
Sure I did. Anything you say.
Then continue on to Chicago. When you arrive there, spend your time waiting in a restaurant called the Spread Eagle. Sooner or later, you will be approached. You are to lend yourself to any situation that arises. Any situation, understand?
Sure, I understand. This good deed I'm to do on borrowed time. What's your interest in it?
Deeply personal, Sam. I am no longer among the living.
but I have no place among the dead. I walk between two worlds. You see, Sam, in life I didn't have one decent thing to point to either. Through you, I hope to find rest.
In Chicago, I tried to get Mr. Whiskers out of my mind. I'd had a bad dream. It had to be a bad dream. I went to the Spread Eagle, afraid not to. I just sat like a frozen mummy, ordering ham sandwiches I couldn't eat and coffee I couldn't swallow, and listening to downbeat piano music.
Mind if I join you?
Pull up a chair.
I'm Tresca, Sam.
You know my name, huh?
I know your name and all about you. Where you come from, your record, and why you're on the lam.
You know all about me, too, huh?
I've watched you. I had a confidential operative check into your pedigree.
What for?
Well, frankly, because I need just such a person as you. For a certain venture I'm involved in.
What do you mean, just such a person as me?
I wanted a man who's at home in, shall we say, unconventional activities. A man I can trust because he doesn't dare go to the police or even to the underworld.
And I'm your man, I guess.
You definitely are.
Okay, let's go.
Did you agree just like that? Without even discussing price or the nature of the work?
You said I was your man. Fact is, Tresca, I'm your man, and there's nothing I can do about it.
This is our destination, Sam.
Here? In the middle of nowhere?
Up that footpath over there, say 1/8 of a mile, you'll find a private lake. I own it.
Hooray for you.
Yeah, thank you. And there lies your first chore. Behind us on the floor of the car is a burlap sack. Its weight, I would estimate, is 118 pounds, more or less.
What? We've been riding a corpse around.
We have. You're to carry the burlap bag and contents up that footpath to the lake and drop it in there. And without tears, Sam. Mind you, without tears. From this point on, as the saying goes, we're in business, Sam.
What's the next event?
Wedded bliss. For you.
I'm to get married?
You are. Tomorrow evening, you'll call on your radiant bride-to-be at this address.
15 Cantilever Walk.
Yeah. And try to look more cheerful, Sam. Love comes but once into every man's life.
I could hear Mr. Whiskers giving me the horse laugh somewhere as I climbed the steps to 15 Cantilever Walk. Big gray stone, as if someone had imported the side of a mountain. Iron over every window. And gloomy enough to give even a crepe hanging a St. Vitus dance. I rang the door buzzer.
Hi, Sam.
Do I kill the bride before or after the ceremony?
Make yourself at home, Sam. Wander about. I'll see what's keeping your blushing bride.
I wandered about with my eyes popping over the expensive layout. Whatever Tresca's game was, it wasn't penny ante. The joint screen, big stakes, right down to the needlepoint footstool. Where did Mr. Whiskers figure in it? A minute later in the library, I began to catch on a little. Mr. Whiskers was right in the game. There, sitting over the fireplace in a big gold frame, was Mr. Whiskers.
You like the portrait, Sam?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's quite a painting. Who is Mr. Whiskers?
Mr. Whiskers. That's a trifle irreverent, but an apt nickname. He was my brother Stephen.
What, huh? He's dead?
You sound as if you were ready to dispute it.
I just asked, is he dead?
Very much so. Dead and buried. Your manner is a little odd, Sam.
I'm sorry. I'm, Reggie. Getting married is an idea I've got to get used to.
Well, then meet your bride. That's one way of bringing the idea to roost. Constance. Sam, this is my niece, Constance. Constance, this is your fiancé, Sam Tyler.
Hello, Sam.
Hello.
Well, I'll leave you to get acquainted. You want to exchange premarital views on love and homemaking.
There wasn't a blush in my blushing bride. Her cheeks were chalk white. Her face had the look of death, like some creeping sickness had already called 2 strikes on her. She sat down at the piano. I stood watching her. Looks like you're stuck with me, kid. If Tresca has his way.
Tresca will have his way.
What's your angle, kid? Why is the niece of $1 million layout ready, willing, and able to marry a deadbeat ex-con and mug?
I'm obliged to marry.
What do you mean, obliged to marry?
The terms of my father's will. I inherit his estate at midnight tomorrow. Only if I married.
It's beginning to make some sense. Mr. Whiskers up there was your father?
Yes?
Well, why pick me? A mug your uncle brought home. Why not scout your own dearly intended?
I'm not well enough to...
Hey, you sound as if you're not even well enough to live.
No, Sam. I'm not well enough to live much longer.
We were married, with Tresca and a scrub woman standing as witnesses. I shacked up in the big jail at 15 Cantilever Walk. I was the legal husband of an heiress, but I wasn't congratulating myself on my good luck. There was a hidden gimmick somewhere. I pried. I searched Connie's room. I found the hidden gimmick in a lady's handbag. The handbag was crammed with the usual junk girl stock, a powder case, lipstick, nail file, comb, plus a driver's license and a Christmas Club bank book. But they weren't in Connie's name. The name on them read Ann Powers. I got it as fast as I read the name. The girl was a ringer, another patsy in Tresca's game.
You needn't feel too guilty, Sam.
What?
I left my handbag where you could find it.
I had to look. Tresca killed his niece and hired you to stand in for her. You going to deny that?
No.
How did you come to fall in with Tresca?
I was in a restaurant. Tresca came along and hired me. My life, Sam, every bit of it hadn't been good. I couldn't die, leaving it all bad.
You wanted to do one decent thing before you died.
Yes.
You made the wish, and Mr. Whiskers appeared and took you up on it. He sent you to Tresca, and Tresca hired you. You're going to tell me that's what happened?
You're hurting me.
Is that what happened, I asked?
No! You don't know anything about this obsession you have with Mr. Whiskers.
What good deed can we do around here, kid?
Tresca murdered his niece to steal the estate for himself. We're just pawns.
Hooray for Tresca.
Connie's father left the money to charity if his daughter failed to marry. Constance refused to marry.
She wanted the bundle to go to charity.
Yes, to atone for her father's past. His life hadn't been much either.
$1 million to charity, that's a lot of squaring up.
That could be our one decent act, yours and mine, Sam. Make Tresca's scheme fail.
Quite an ambitious undertaking for newlyweds. Huh? Oh, now, don't you two look at me as if I were another supernatural or occult visitation. I entered through a secret sliding panel on the north wall. I overheard your odd tete-a-tete simply by donning earphones. The room is wide.
You don't miss a trick, huh? What's the gun for?
What are guns for?
There was a charge like stale air exploding. I spun around but didn't drop. This was where I had come in. Tresca, like Nick, could empty his gun point blank, but he couldn't rub me out. It was exactly where I had come in. There in front of me, Tresca was getting the same dose Nick got. His face was purpling as if he was suffocating. As if some invisible someone had his hands around Tresca's throat. Having trouble with your breathing, Tresca?
I can't breathe. I choked in here.
He was on the floor, rigid, out for keeps like I'd seen Nick once.
Is he dead?
Deader than a doornail. We sat around, the three of us. Tresca, the girl, and me, waiting for Mr. Whiskers. We sat all day and all night and through half the next day, but Mr. Whiskers didn't show. Mr. Whiskers didn't show, as if he never was.
Sam.
What?
He exists only in your mind. You're waiting for a man who died a year ago. How do you explain that to yourself?
I don't explain it. Maybe Mr. Whiskers doesn't have to come anymore. His job is done. One last thing, and our job is done.
What? One last thing, Sam?
The cops. We tell them what gives and hand $1 million over to charity. That's the one decent act, the purpose that brought us here.
It's the purpose that brought you here. I just hired out to Tresca for pay.
What about that wish you made on the docks, kid?
It was different on the docks. I was sick and broken, hopeless. I'm not broke or hopeless anymore. I can buy a cure. I can take a trip, spend money, all kinds of money, have a good time I never knew. I can laugh.
You're saying we shut up and keep the estate between us.
Why not? In a way, we earned it.
It's no good, kid. I've got a promise I've got to keep.
A promise you made to a ghost.
My promise to tomorrow.
But if you can't keep that promise because I won't let you. What if I won't let you cheat me out of my one chance to live?
How?
Like this?
She backed away from the piano with Tresca's gun in her hand. The gun is no good. I don't kill, kid. You saw how I don't kill.
That was before, Sam. You do kill now. Don't kill now!
There's one last line, Chief, sort of a dying scribble. The girl was right. I did kill now. That's the end of it, Chief. What do you make of it?
Suppose we let the answer write itself at 15 Cantilever Walk.
Well, the confession's the McCoy, all right. That's Sam Tyler on the sofa, Tresca on the floor, and there's the girl out cold, still holding the gun. Got any pulse?
No, she's dead. No visible cause, Davy. Just dead. I'm getting a faint pulse on Tyler. Sam. Sam Tyler.
What? You, the police?
Yes. The girl shot you and you just about bled to death. You know the whole story, Sam.
So the girl got to do that last decent thing after all.
The girl didn't do anything. Her heart blew out after shooting you. We read your confession down at headquarters.
My confession?
Yes. This 5 and dime notebook. Yeah, see it? It was tied to a rock and tossed through the window at headquarters.
You wrote it, but what we want to know is who delivered it.
I didn't write that confession, mister. I didn't write it or deliver it.
You didn't write. And it was the girl. She had enough left to get downtown and get your story to us. If not you, it had to be the girl.
You'll have to ask Mr. Whiskers about that. If you hurry, you might catch him somewhere between two worlds. Merry Christmas, Chief.
An irate taxpayer just told me the state of Illinois intends to mail a bill to Mr. Whiskers for that broken police station window. They're busy digging up a dead postman so he can speed delivery of the bill out of this world. Sad about Treska. A perfect plot gone to pot because his brother, although kaput, wouldn't stay put.
We invite you to join us again next week at this time for Inner Sanctum. This is the United States Armed Forces Radio Service, the voice of information and education.
This week, guest quacking on the Baba Ghoulie Show, Waddle the Duck. And here's Waddle.
Hey folks, Waddle from Watchwaddle here. Hope you're enjoying today's radio program. And if you're considering getting a new radio to listen to them, why not get one with the newest innovation, the 4-speed record player? Because available now is our newest hits from Watchwaddle Production. Check out me and the gang and our hilarious, zany, and crazy tunes, filled with spoofs, gags, and jokes. Available in our playlist collection. Check them out for some cheap laughs and running gags. Whoa. And when we say running gags, we ain't kidding, brother.
Screwy Forest's Watchwaddle cartoons. Available on Channel Watchwaddle. The Baba Ghoulie Show is brought to you by OTR Halloween Holidays. During the intermission, our radio show brings to you a cartoon for the record. We now return you to our radio show.
Hope you're enjoying today's radio program. When it's done, be sure to check out our channel over at Watchwaddle. Enjoy some tunes with a nice cold soda.
And now, stay tuned for the mystery program that is unique among all mystery programs. Because even when you know who is guilty, you always receive a startling surprise at the final curtain. In the Signal Oil program, The Whistler, transcribed by the Signal Oil Company to enable the entire production staff of The Whistler to spend the Christmas weekend at home with their families. Signal, the famous Go Farther gasoline, invite you to sit back and enjoy another strange story by The Whistler.
I am the Whistler, and I know many things, for I walk by night. I know many strange tales, hidden in the hearts of men and women who have stepped into the shadows. Yes, I know the nameless terrors of which they dare not speak.
And now for the Signal Oil Company, The Whistler's strange story, Christmas Gift.
Christmas was only a few hours away, and Mary Winston couldn't help but marvel that its spirit could reach down and touch a cheap nightclub like Pete's Cantina on the outskirts of Panama City. Sitting alone at a table, she gazed at her tawdry surroundings. And then from the bar at the far end of the club came the strains of a Christmas melody, a melody which brought back memories of happier Christmas Eves. Yes, the Christmas spirit is undying, isn't it, Mary? You watch the strolling soloist, Sailor Reynolds, nod as he comes closer and passes your table. It's been 3 months now since you were hired as a singing hostess at Pete's Cantina. 3 months that you've been billed as Candy Porter with no one, not even the proprietor, knowing your real identity, Mary Winston. At long last, as Candy Porter, you seem to be safely away from your past. As the music ends, you look up, aware suddenly that Pete Gardinas, the rolling, heavy-set proprietor, is approaching your table.
Candy! Candy! Look, there is an American gentleman just came in. He wants to buy you some champagne. Champagne, you hear?
Please, I'm not in the mood tonight.
Look, kid, this looks like a big spender. If he wants to buy champagne...
All right, all right.
You turn and see the tall, heavy-set American approach, and suddenly you become tense. After a year of running away, you've learned to spot his kind in a moment, haven't you, Mary? You're certain he's a detective. And now you have to fight to remain calm as he approaches.
Sit down, Mr. Fontaine. Sit down.
Sure you don't mind, Miss Porter?
Of course not.
Thanks. In that case, I will.
I'll go get the champagne. I keep him on ice. 11 years old, too.
Cigarette, Mr. Fontaine?
No, thanks.
You don't mind if I do?
Oh, no, of course not. Oh, here. Light?
Thanks.
Well, this is very unusual for me, spending the Christmas season so far away from home.
Mm-hmm. How come?
Business. Important business.
Couldn't it wait?
No. This business means a lot to the people I work for.
Yes, what you say, the bubble water? From Marseille, 13 years old.
You said 11.
That was from Le Havre. This is even better. Now I put him back in the ice. If you want some more, just call Pete. I've got more just like him.
Well, I guess it's a few hours early to say Merry Christmas, Miss Porter. So I guess I'd better just say good luck, huh?
Thanks. And here's hoping you find whatever you came here for.
Oh, I've already found what I came for. You see, I came for you, Mary Winston.
Friends, to all of you who have opened your homes to the Whistler, not only throughout the year, but even tonight on this last busy weekend before Christmas, Signal Oil Company has asked me to express their sincere appreciation for this privilege and pleasure. And we of the cast want to add our thank you, too. During the 9 consecutive years that The Whistler has been broadcast by Signal Oil Company, many of us have celebrated Christmas with many of you a number of times. And believe me, we're mighty proud that you consider us a part of your entertainment family. Tonight, on behalf of Signal Oil Company and the independent signal dealers who serve you in the states of California, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Nevada, Arizona, and Utah, I want to convey warmest season's greetings. May the many blessings of living in these United States of America enrich your holiday season and the new year.
It's ironic, isn't it, Mary? A sorry Christmas gift after all the months of hiding, running from one town and then another, using a different name in each place, but never your own, Mary Winston. These past 3 months you've been known as Candy Porter, singing hostess in Pete's Cantina here in Panama City. And now this detective sitting across from you has called you by your real name, Mary Winston. And you can't run, can you, Mary? Facing Fontaine, you decide there's only one move you can make. That you've only one card left. But if you play it wisely, carefully, it might prove to be an ace.
You say you came here after me, Mr. Fontaine?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you mean.
I think you do. And if I were you, I'd be ready to leave for Los Angeles in the morning, Miss Winston.
Like the billing says, my name is Candy Porter.
I know what the billing says. I know what it said in Brooklyn when you were billed as Doris Trent. In Denver when you were billed as Gladys James. But when you took a powder out of Los Angeles a year ago, you were Mary Winston.
You know, it's strange you're mentioning Mary Winston. I was even thinking about her when you came in. A lot of other people have mistaken me for Mary Winston. We could have passed for twin sisters. She was my best friend. I could tell you a lot about her if you feel like listening.
Sure. I'll listen. Go ahead and talk if it'll make you feel any better. We can't get away until tomorrow morning anyway. The more you tell now, the less you'll have to tell later.
Thanks. You see, Mr. Fontaine, Mary Winston was just a good kid who got a bad break. She was in love with a swell guy, but scared to death of a hoodlum. It's an unusual story, Mr. Fontaine.
It was an unusual story, wasn't it, Mary? It began a year ago at a Christmas party given by your employers, the Southwestern Manufacturing Company, in the pink room of the swank Wilchester Hotel. And you were the hit of the evening. You sang 3 songs and went over big. Your friends from the office hadn't known of your talent, but they all agreed you were fine, and when the party was over, you were feeling good. So good you decided to drop into the hotel cocktail lounge, make a phone call or two, and have a nightcap by yourself before going home. When you finished your phoning, you walked to a vacant stool at the bar.
Scotch and soda.
Make mine the same, Bill.
Gotcha.
I heard you sing tonight. You were terrific.
Thanks.
What's the matter? Did he stand you up?
Who?
The guy you were just talking to on the phone. No. I guess he didn't stand you up.
Didn't he?
He's on his way here right now. Lucky guy.
Here you are, folks.
Take it out of here, Bill.
$1.80 out of 10.
Well, now, look here, Mr.
Oh, take it easy. It's practically Christmas. What's the harm in my buying you one drink? Like I said, I liked your voice, Miss Winston.
Change.
Thank you, Bill.
You a detective or a mind reader?
Oh, you mean your name?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't any trick to find that out. I just asked one of the boys I saw dancing with you. My name's Joe Collins. I see you've never heard of me.
Should I have? Oh, now I get it. You're a professional talent scout and want to get me into the movies.
Nope. I'm a gambler. Disapproved?
Why? Live and let live's my motto, and that's exactly what I'm going to do right now.
What?
Live my life and let you live yours. Good night, Mr. Collins. Just think, I can tell the girls at the office tomorrow I met a real live gambler.
Wait a minute. You could tell them a lot more than that if you believed in your voice as much as I do.
Really?
Mm-hmm. You've heard of Domingo's out on Sunset, haven't you?
It's an undercover gambling club, isn't it?
It's more than a gambling club. There's a swell floor show. A lot of big people go out there, people that count.
And all intimate friends of yours, I'm sure.
No, but I know quite a few. Some who could push you right to the top with that voice of yours.
Mr. Collins, this is the oldest line I ever heard.
It's not a line, but skip it. Go on home, listen to the radio, eat candy. You can have a terrific time. If you go to Domingo's with me, you can't tell what might happen. You might have to meet a couple of show producers, maybe even sing. So play it safe. Go on home. Maybe dull, but you'll always get to work on time.
Is that all you have to say?
Yeah, that's all. Except, nighty-night.
Wait a minute.
Yeah?
Could we be back early?
We'll leave any time you say.
Well, what are we waiting for?
Well, now you're making sense. I'll call a cab.
Well, never mind. I have a car. It's parked right around the corner.
Joe Collins used just the right approach, didn't he, Mary? You realized you were being a fool. But as the hours passed, you told yourself your fears were groundless. Joe treated you with perfect courtesy, introduced you to several people, including the producer of the floor show. You even sang a number which was well received. Later, you watched the gambling for a while and then proceeded to the Silver Room to enjoy the second floor show. Afterwards, you had supper in the main dining room and watched the guests dancing.
Joe.
Then suddenly, you've had enough.
Joe, do you mind if we leave now?
I said we'd leave any time you said. What hit you, the music?
I guess that's it.
Another guy?
Another guy. My fiancé, Dr. Frank Wilson.
What happened to, Dr. Wilson?
He's in Korea.
Marines?
No, Army doctor. It was his car we drove out here in.
Oh, that's too bad. We could have had a lot of fun. Well, shall we go?
Please.
Hop in, unless you want me to drive.
No, I'll drive.
Good. We'll probably be safer that way.
As you drove toward your little apartment on Clinton Avenue, you were glad your reckless little adventure was nearing its end. Everything had been fine so far, but you couldn't throw off a feeling of uneasiness. For a few miles, Joe said little, and then he seemed preoccupied, and you were relieved when he finally broke his strange silence.
Say, Mary, would you mind stopping for a minute at that drive-in? All of a sudden, I got an awful headache. Maybe I can get some aspirin there, huh?
I doubt it, but we'll give it a try.
You can keep the motor running while I'm gone, huh? I'll only be gone a few seconds.
Okay. What? Joe!
Get going.
Joe, you shot him!
I said get going fast. There's a gun in your ribs, baby. You just saw what happened to one guy that crossed me.
Did you kill him?
I don't know.
Oh, why was I such a fool?
Turn right at the next corner. A car's been tailing us for the last 5 minutes.
I'm glad. I hope it's a prowl car. It'll save me the trouble of phoning the police.
I said turn! Yeah, he didn't turn, baby. You know, you shouldn't have said what you did about phoning the cops. Nobody but me and you knows about that drive-in job. You just better pull over and park. We got a couple of things to talk over. I said pull over.
Okay. Please, Joe. Joe, don't kill me. I know you can do it easy, but I'll never tell about tonight.
That's the way you feel now. An hour from now, you'll feel different.
Oh, no, I won't. On my word of honor, I'll make a deal with you, Joe. I'll trade you my silence for my life. I swear I won't talk about it ever.
You sound like you really mean that.
Oh, I do mean it, Joe. I swear it. I swear it.
You're swearing, huh?
Yes, Joe. I swear it.
Well, I'm not being very smart, but I'm going to take a chance. You drove the getaway car, so I guess that makes us partners anyway. Yeah. You know, partner, we ought to have a lot of fun together. Now, how about dropping me off at my place, huh?
Tell me where to go.
Live about 6 blocks from here. Just turn to the right at the
After you dropped Joe and reached your apartment, you were so weak you could hardly stand. You literally fell into bed. You tried to sleep, but sleep was impossible. Early the following morning, you heard the newsboys shoving the morning paper under your apartment door. You hurried across the room and looked at the front page. The headlines and stories sickened you.
Drive-in manager shot in attempted holdup. Dies. Unidentified man and woman seen fleeing from scene of crime in dark green 49 model sedan. Pedestrian believes he can identify car.
There it was, Mary. Your situation looked hopeless, didn't it? You felt you must keep your word to Joe Collins, but you knew you must never see him again. Only one avenue seemed open to you. You had to leave town and disappear. You dressed hurriedly, packed a few belongings, withdrew your savings from the bank, and by noon were on an eastbound plane for New York. You decided to take advantage of your voice and become a professional entertainer. The first few weeks you auditioned almost daily with negative results. But finally, after 3 months, you were singing at the Golden Lion, a prosperous little nightclub in Brooklyn, New York. After a shaky start, you became a featured performer under the name of Doris Trent. As the weeks went by, your work improved. You became sure of yourself. And one night you noticed Vern Shields, famous musical comedy producer, in the audience. His presence seemed to inspire you, and you went over better than ever. Afterwards, in your dressing room, you wondered what he thought of your voice. You were certain that your visitor was Vern Shields. Weren't you, Mary?
Come in.
Oh. Well, long time no see, Miss Trent. Doris Trent, it says on the program.
Joe.
I'm surprised you recognized me. I thought you'd forgotten me.
All right, Joe, you found me. Now, what's on your mind?
You double-crossed me, baby.
Well, you're crazy. That's why I left town, so I wouldn't even have to talk to anybody.
You wrote the police, though, didn't you?
Oh, you're wrong, Joe. I didn't write to anybody.
It had to be you. It couldn't have been anybody else. 2 days after you left, they picked me up for questioning.
But it wasn't me. I've kept my word with you, Joe.
Yeah? Well, there's one way you can convince me.
How?
Marry me. Tonight.
Marry you?
Mm-hmm. That way I'll be sure of you. Wives can't testify against their husbands. Besides, I'll know what you're doing all the time.
Look, Joe, I got to do my show. Let's talk this over in the morning.
Tonight. We can run up to Connecticut. But go ahead and do your show. Only if you've got any ideas about calling the cops, don't forget you drove the getaway car. And in case anything happens to me, there's a written confession in my pocket telling exactly how you helped me pull the job. How we used your boyfriend's car. How you kept the motor running waiting for me.
You've thought of everything, haven't you?
Everything, so don't try anything. Now go ahead and do your show. I'll wait for you here.
You started down the hallway, turned toward the powder room off stage. Suddenly you realized what a fool you'd been. But you made up your mind not to keep on being a fool, didn't you, Mary? Not with that wall telephone just 5 steps ahead of you.
Operator, get me police headquarters in a hurry.
Better hang up quick, baby. I mean, quick. I had a hunch you'd try to double-cross me. Now I know for sure who wrote that note to the cops.
I didn't, Joe. Honest, I didn't.
You just tried to call him, didn't you? All of a sudden, I've lost interest in getting married. We're just going to take a little ride. Now, come on, baby.
No, Joe, I'm not moving a foot. Not an inch. You
Come on.
let go of my arm.
Hey, what's going on here? Something wrong, Doris? This guy bothering you?
Yes, he is. He wants to date me. Tell him to leave, will you, Eddie?
Well, maybe I better take him into the office and call the cops.
No, thanks, Eddie. There is no need for that. He's Just another wolf. Tell him to leave. That's good enough.
You heard what the lady said, Bob? Start traveling.
Okay, Pop, anything you say. I'll see the lady later. I'll be parked right across the street, Miss Fred.
You should have let me call the cops.
I would have, if he hadn't had you covered with a gun.
Oh, I see. Gee, thanks, kid. I guess you saved my life.
Skip it. Look, Eddie, I gotta get out of town, and fast.
After what you just did for me, getting you out of town is a cinch. Grab some clothes while I phone my wife I'm bringing you home. We'll go out the rear entrance. My car's on the lot next door. Tomorrow I'll call a friend of mine in Denver. He'll put you to work right away. You better change your name, though.
That'll be easy. I'm getting used to it. So, Mr. Fontaine, that's where I met Mary Winston. In Denver at the Hi-Hat Club, billed as Gladys James. She was there for quite a while, room with me. Then she left just like that one night, when a waiter told her some guy wanted to interview her for a magazine. She figured it was Joe Collins again. That's the last I ever saw of her.
That's the end of the story?
That's the end.
And Mary Winston told you all this?
Well, we were close friends.
I'll say you were.
You don't believe me, do you?
If you were in my position, would you believe a story like that?
No, I don't suppose I would.
With Santa's arrival only 2 days away, who can help being in a whimsical frame of mind tonight? Whimsical about such things as how Santa can travel so far in one night. Well, maybe here's the answer. A child asked his father one day how St. Nick went so far on a sleigh. The wise father replied, he can take that long ride 'cause his reindeer drink signal, they say. Well, I decided to check this story with Santa himself, and now I can report to you. Said Santa when boarding his sled, "This year I'm using my head. It's signal for me. I'll go farther, you'll see." And over the rooftops he sped. Now, as you've no doubt guessed, in addition to letting you in on Santa's mileage secret, there's also a moral to this story, which is... the gas used by Santa, my lassie or lad, is also the gas that is best for dear Dad. With Signal, Dad's car will not only go far, but give top performance, the best to be had.
Well, Mary, it looks as though you've lost, doesn't it? That your show wasn't good enough. The man across the table, the detective you're certain has come to take you back to Los Angeles, to stand trial for a murder you had nothing to do with, doesn't believe you. You're certain, too, that the jury in Los Angeles won't believe you, not after you're running away, your phony names, your present surroundings. You're sure Joe Collins has been captured, that the authorities have read his confession, that he's trumped your last card, ruined forever your hopes of eventual reunion with the man you still love, Dr. Frank Wilson. Yes, Mary, it looks as though you've lost, but you're going to play the game through to the end anyhow. White Christmas. If Sailor Reynolds knew what that song did to you, the memories it brings back, he'd play something else, wouldn't he, Mary? As Fontaine gazes into space and drums his fingers silently on the table, you watch him closely, await his next words.
How long did you say you'd been here?
I didn't say, but I got here about 3 months ago.
You like it here?
No.
That's what I figured. Hey, look, Miss...
Cigarette, Mr. Fontaine?
Yeah, thanks.
Light?
Mm-hmm. Thanks again, Miss Porter.
Did you say Porter?
That's what you said your name was, didn't you? That's what the billing says, too, isn't it?
You mean you believe me?
You sounded straight to me. Well, it looks as though I came a long way for nothing, doesn't it? Still, I'm kind of glad I came. I always figured that confession they found on Joe Collins' body was a phony.
Joe Collins? Joe Collins dead?
Yeah. The Brooklyn police got him one night about 5 months ago. A woman called the police from a little nightclub, the Golden Lion Club. She hung up before they answered the phone, but the Brooklyn boys decided to investigate anyway. One of them spotted Collins in a car parked across the street. He got trigger happy, and that was that.
Joe Collins. Finished.
Right. Well, Miss Porter, if you ever run into Mary Winston...
I'll tell her all about the Christmas gift I got from a swell detective named Fontaine.
No, I'm just a private detective, Miss Porter. But the police gave me the tip that you... Mary Winston might be working here.
Oh, then they knew...
A man named Wilson hired me for the case. A Dr. Frank Wilson.
Frankfurt?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's out of the Army now. Still very much in love with Mary Winston. Doesn't care where she's been. Just wants her to come back and marry him.
He must be quite a guy.
Yeah, he's okay. Now, incidentally, do you think you'll ever see Miss Winston again?
Yes, I do.
Well, do you think she might come back to Los Angeles sometime and clear things up with the police? Make the doctor happy?
I'm sure she will. Someday. You see, a girl like Mary gets to feel a little soiled after working around joints like this. She'll probably want to spend a year or so in cleaner surroundings. Maybe out in the desert. Sort of freshening up before going home. Seeing anyone she cared about.
Yeah. From what you said, I expect she would. Well, I might as well be getting along. Merry Christmas, Miss Porter. Happy New Year.
Let that whistle be your signal for the Signal Oil program, The Whistler, each Sunday night at this same time. Signal Oil Company has asked me to remind you, there's an easy way we can all help to make this holiday season happier for ourselves and others. Drive at sensible speeds, be courteous, and obey traffic regulations. It may save a life, possibly your own. Featured in tonight's story were Bill Foreman as the Whistler, Betty Lou Gerson, Bill Conrad, Bill Boucher, Marvin Miller, and Brett Wood on the harmonica. The Whistler was produced and directed by George W. Allen, with story by Ed Bloodworth, music by Wilbur Hatch, and was transcribed and transmitted overseas by the Armed Forces Radio Service. The Whistler was entirely fictional, and all characters portrayed on The Whistler are also fictional. Any similarity of names or resemblance to persons living or dead is purely coincidental. Remember to tune in at this same time next Sunday, when the Signal Oil Company will bring you another strange story by The Whistler. Marvin Miller speaking for the Signal Oil Company. Stay tuned now for Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden, which follows immediately over most of these stations. This is the CBS Radio Network.
Thanks for watching the Baba Ghoulie Show by OTR Halloween Holidays. This is Waddle the Duck saying check out Channel Watchwaddle for some fun cartoons with no static.